Hello and welcome everyone to Jim Comics Top Picks for New Comic Book Day this upcoming Wednesday, July 25th, 2018. And man, this is going to be another stellar week. This past week had some good books, but nothing crazy. It was kind of a lighter week as far as really key stuff coming out. But this week there's some key books coming out. There's going to more than likely be a few first appearances. There's some really gorgeous covers. And as usual, I'll run through my picks there, what I'm looking at this week as far as my pull list. I'll give you my top covers, give you my top picks, as well as a few spec books that I pulled out here that I think there's one really good one I think is going to do well in the near future. So we'll get going to those in a bit. But before I do, I just want to make sure I thank all my subscribers and everybody that sends me comments. I really appreciate it. And I understand, everybody this time of year, especially with summer and holidays and kids and family and everything else, it gets busy. And I understand, some people don't have time to leave comments on videos. And I know I don't personally. A lot of times I end up watching videos on my phone or at work or whatever. And when I get a minute and I don't always have a chance to leave comments, but I want to let a lot of you know I do watch a lot of your videos as well, and I may not comment on them all the time, but I really appreciate the stuff that you're putting out as well, because I've been watching people's videos for years before I started doing this, and that's kind of what gave me the incentive to start doing these videos myself. So I really appreciate everybody else that puts out videos, and as well as the people that watch my channel and comment. So I really appreciate it. Anyways, let's get going into the books this week. Start with my independents. Aftershock Comics. Comics. Got a couple from them. Pestilence, Story of Satan #3. There's only the one cover this week, but it's a really nice cover. I really like that cover. Man, is that gorgeous. There is some really good covers coming out these days. And the second one from Aftershock is Walk Through Hell #3. That's been a good series so far. I've enjoyed the first two, and I'm looking forward to this one. And I mentioned before, I hope a lot of you are looking at Aftershock. They haven't been around that long, but they're putting out some really good quality comics, and there's some really good writers and artists that are part of their Aftershock's company and that are involved in their comics. So I highly recommend, if you're not looking at Aftershock, I recommend you do, because they're really good. Next one that I recommended this a few months back when I first heard about it, and I've recommended it a couple times since, from Boom Studios. It's Parish #1. Cover A is a gorgeous cover. It's a nice black cover with a skull from all the... Basically, this one's about... there's a new drug that's kind of sweeping the nation, and it's made with bones from deceased. And I guess what happens is the people start having visions of the people that that are part of the drug that they're using. So it looks pretty creepy. So anyways, there's 3 covers for that. There's that really gorgeous A cover. There's a B cover. It's kind of a funky psychedelic B cover, and then there's also cover C for that one as well. I recommended that, like I say, a couple of months ago. I hope you got that on your pull list. If you don't have that on your pull list, definitely try to pick that up, because I think that one's going to do really well. That's it from Boom Studio. Danger Zone, Zombie Tramp #50. I'm recommending this one just because it's the 50th issue. It's a double-sized issue from what I understand, and there's only 2 covers I can see for that. There's cover A, and then cover B is the risque cover, which they usually have a risque one and a non-risque one. So A and B for that. Dark Horse, you've got StarCraft Scavengers #1. There's cover A, it's a nice cover, and cover B, which is also a fairly nice cover, so that looks like a good one. Dynamite Comics, this one is a limited variant, kind of, they've got Kiss, Army of Darkness. It's a 1 for 50 signed by Gene Simmons, so this is one that you would have had to probably order in, or your shop would have had to order it in and bring it in. So there's pretty good market for Kiss stuff for whatever reason. There's a lot of Kiss fans out there, and this one's being signed by Gene Simmons. It's a pretty cool one. So if you can get that, it'll probably be a little pricey. If you're a Kiss fan, that's one you're going to want to look for. So look for that this week. From Image Comics, New World #1. There's 4 covers for this. There's cover A, which you got on the screen now. There's cover B. There's a cover C. And there's also a cover D. It's kind of, from what I understand, it's like the U.S. has gone through a second civil war, and it's almost like a Romeo and Juliet love story mixed in with Mad Max kind of a deal. So Looks kind of interesting. Like I've mentioned several times, I get all the number ones from Image, so I'm definitely going to grab that one. One that's the SDCC is going on right now. It concludes today. I'm doing this late Saturday night, but it'll be up Sunday morning. But it concludes on Sunday. And there's Redneck number 13. There was a San Diego Comic-Con variant. It's a Jeff Shaw cover. It's just a gorgeous cover. That came out this weekend at the Comic-Con. So that's one you want to try and look for this week if you can. You may be able to find some on eBay, but if not, some shops may have them in just because, you know, some people may have gone to the show and whatnot. So take a look for that one. It's just a gorgeous cover. So if you can find that one, try and get that one. Shanghai Red number 2. I enjoyed number 1 that was out. And number 2's out this week. Cover A and cover B for that one. Oni Press, Rick and Morty number 40. I don't think I need to tell you about Rick and Morty. So number 40, 2 covers, cover A and cover B out for that one. And last, the independents, Valiant Comics. I'm looking at this Britannia Lost Eagles of Rome number 1. It looks like a really cool story, and I like the history part of stuff. So basically, after the Roman armies are defeated by the German hordes in the forests of Germany, the Roman eagles are stolen, and that's kind of the symbol of power and strength of Rome. So the leader sends their top detective, Antonius Axia, to look for these stolen eagles. And while it's kind of a detective story set back in the Roman days, but it's got a lot of supernatural things going on in the Germanic forest, so it looks pretty cool. I'm going to definitely look at that one. So that is it for independents. From DC, I got Action Comics 1001. It looks like there's a new criminal group that shows up in this one, so I'm going to check that one out. I'm not a huge Michael Bendis fan, but I've enjoyed his... I really enjoyed Man of Steel. I know some people were on the fence on that, but I really liked it because Rogolzar... I mentioned every time I showed that series, that 1 to 6, that was that whole setup of Rogolzar, and he's having a big role in Superman, and I don't know if he's going to be in Action Comics 1001, but I'm going to check it out anyways. 4 covers for that: A cover, B cover, C, and I think D is a limited variant, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. Aquaman 38 cover B is a Middleton cover. I don't know that I'm going to be getting it. To be honest, I don't think it's one of Middleton's best covers, but for all the Middleton fans, I want to let you know that's out this week. Detective Comics 985. Man, I've really been... Brian Hill took over with issue 983, and I've really enjoyed his writing, and that character Karma made a first appearance in 983, first full appearance in last issue 984, and it's kind of a continuation of the storyline. And it's a good story, and I really like where that's going. So there's 2 covers, cover A, and a really nice Brooks cover B, which I'm looking at. Doomsday Clock number 6. Man, this is I wish these issues were coming out sooner. But there's 2 covers, cover A and cover B. Mime and Marionette are on both covers, and it looks like they play a key role in this issue, and those are cool characters. So I highly recommend that you get that one. Flash number 51 is a Mattina cover. I don't know that I'm going to be picking it up, but a lot of people like Mattina. I do as well, but I don't think it's one of his greatest covers, but that one's out. Justice League Dark. Now, this is one I highly recommend you pick up. There's cover A on the screen. There's a really nice Greg Capullo cover B, black cover with all the characters on there. And then there's a Inks cover C, which is a 1 for 50. So that one, I've actually got that on order. And the reason for that is the artist on this one, it's Alvaro Eduardo Martinez Bueno. He has already confirmed that the Upside Down Man is in issue number 2. So, and this whole series is going to revolve around the supernatural and stuff, and carry on from Justice League No Justice. And I highly suspect that Upside Down... I have been looking for this Upside Down Man for a while because I'm really psyched about that character. And because he's deaf, the artist has already confirmed that he's in issue number 2. There's a very good chance you're going to get a first appearance in this issue 1. So I highly recommend you pick up Justice League Dark number 1. I can't stress that one enough. Next from DC is Teen Titans number 20. This will be the first full appearance of Crush. She's on the cover of on a couple of the covers here, and she made a first appearance right at the end of that Teen Titans Special #1. So Teen Titans 20, that's one you definitely want to buy. There's cover A, there's cover B, as well as cover C, which I believe is a limited variant. It's a 1 for 25, if I'm correct. I think I'm on that one. So that limited variant will be a really good one to get because she's on the cover of that as well. Wonder Woman 51. Man, these are two gorgeous covers for Wonder Woman 51. The cover A, which is on the screen, is the Art Germ cover, and it's just gorgeous. That's a beautiful cover. And cover B is another Jenny Friesen cover. She's been doing pretty much all the Bs for a while. And last one from DC I'm getting is Terrifics #6. So from Marvel, Amazing Spider-Man #2, cover A, and then there's that's just the Ryan Ottley cover. And cover B is a J. Scott Campbell cover. And I think it's just a regular variant. I don't think it's a limited variant. So not very often you get J. Scott Campbell at a regular price, so I highly recommend you get that one. Infinity Wars Prime, another really good book out this week. That whole Infinity Countdown, that single page was the only reason I bought that whole countdown, was because it dealt with Requiem. And Infinity Wars Prime is now dealing with Requiem and that whole story going forward, so I highly recommend you get this series. Cover A is on the screen. There's 4 covers for this one. There's cover B. There's a nice cover C. And then there's a limited 1 for 25 Hildebrandt cover D for that one. It's not the best looking cover, to be honest, but I'm going to probably try and get that one. Recommend you get that one if you can. Marvel 2-in-1 #8 is out, and there's only 1 cover for that one, but that's been a good series so far, so I'm going to grab that. Moon Girl 33. This has always been a low print run, and people, for whatever reason, have not picked up on this series, and there's so many good characters coming out in this one. Issue 32, which came out last issue, dealt with first appearance of Princess Fisk, Wilson Fisk's daughter, Kingpin's daughter, as you all know. And issue 33 is going to be dealing with the tragic past of Princess Fisk, so kind of an origin story of Princess Fisk in there. So I highly recommend you get that one if you can find it, because like I say, these Moon Girls are always low print runs too. So, and another one that's coming out this week, but I'm not going to buy it. I can tell you that right now. Mr. and Mrs. X #1. Man, they tried the Rogue and Gambit comic and that tanked. And I don't think this one's going to go very far. But if you're interested in that, that's out this week. But I'm not buying it. Old Man Logan #44. I highly recommend you get this one as well, because you had that character, which I think is going to be called Vendetta, because the solicitation said Shadow Tracer, but in the book it was Joy Jones who became Shadow Tracer. In the book she said her name was Vendetta, and Logan called her Vendetta, so I think technically her name is going to be Vendetta going forward. I haven't seen anything else saying that she's Shadow Tracer, but we'll take a look in this book. But that looks like a good one. And Venom #4, I don't think I need to tell you to buy that book. I mean, if you're not buying Venom, you shouldn't even be buying comics. So anyways, that's my opinion. And then there's a whole ton of multiple printings coming out from Marvel this week, if you're into those. Avengers, there's Venom, there's Thor, there's a ton of them. I'm not going to list them all, but there's a ton. So anyways, my top covers this week, I'm going to give you 5, because there's a lot of good ones. But Pestilence #3, really like that cover. It's a gorgeous cover. Parish #1, that's another really good one. That looks like a really good series too. That Redneck #13, that Jeff Shaw cover, the SDCC cover, that's a gorgeous cover. Wonder Woman 51, the cover A, the Art Germ cover, that's a gorgeous cover. That's just a regular price cover too. And I really like the Justice League Dark cover B, the Capullo cover. I love black covers, and I think Greg Capullo is one of the top artists going, and has been for a long time, so that's a great looking cover. And my top picks this week, I got 5 of them for you, and man, most of these are pretty much can't miss. Top 3 anyways. Justice League Dark #1, I highly recommend you get that one, because I'm pretty sure Upside Down Man is going to be making a more than likely just a first appearance in this book, because he's like I say, the artist has confirmed that he's in issue number 2, and I've seen images of number 2 already, so he's definitely in number 2. And I like to say I'm expecting a first appearance in Justice League Dark number 1. Teen Titans number 20, first full appearance of Crush, cannot go wrong with that one, definitely get that one. Venom number 4, Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman doing the artwork. Man, jeez. We saw Noel the Symbiote God in issue number 3, and more than likely we're going to find out a little bit more about Noel in this one, and who knows what else. So, man, buy Venom. I can't stress enough to buy Venom. Infinity Wars Prime number 1 is out this week, and boy, oh boy, is this whole Infinity Countdown with Requiem's leading this, and when people find out how big a character Requiem is, man, that's going to blow up. So I highly recommend that series as well, or that issue as well. And last one is Doomsday Clock number 6, with Mime and Marionette being key characters in that series and in the DC world, to be honest. And then this whole issue kind of revolving around them, and that's a really good one. So that is it for my picks this week. As far as spec books go, I got 3 of them. This one I had in the background and I forgot to talk about it, so I'm going to talk about it now. That's Bullseye number 1, and that came out in 2017, if I remember right. Yeah, beginning of 2017. And that is the first appearance of Joy Jones, who becomes Vendetta, or Shadow Tracer, whatever you want to call it, in Old Man Logan 43. So that is her first appearance in Bullseye, and issue 2, 3, 4, and 5, she was also in them, but that is a good one to get. I mean, you can get that pretty much in the dollar bins right now, so it's really good, cheap, good time to buy it. Next one I'm going to recommend, just because Doomsday Clock is out this week with Mime and Marionette. If you haven't got Doomsday Clock number 1, I highly recommend you get them, because that is the first full appearance of Mime and Marionette. Those characters, I believe, are going to have a big future with with DC going forward. And once this Doomsday Clock series runs over, they're going to start pop up in other series and movies and stuff. You can almost guarantee, because they're crazy, like the Joker, and I think they've got a tie to the Joker too, which is going to be interesting. So, and last one I'm going to show you, this one's a little pricey. You're going to pay a bit for this one. You're not going to get it cheap. It's Adventure into Fear number 19 with the Man-Thing, and that is the first appearance of Howard the Duck. And why that's important is everything from the 80s right now seems to be coming back into vogue, and you know, Howard the Duck has made well, there was a Howard the Duck movie back in the 80s, which was terrible, and he's made cameos in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. He's now going to be mashed up with Juggernaut in Cosmic Ghost Rider number 3, which comes out in a bit, and that's going to be Juggerduck. So Howard the Duck is starting to become trendy again, in my opinion, and this is a book that's been sitting. It's kind of, in Canadian dollars, it's kind of around the $100 mark for a VF kind of copy. It fluctuates up and down, but you know, and that's one of those characters where you want to get this book while you can, and it's in a reasonable price range, because, you know, I can totally see Howard the Duck going somewhere in the future again, because everything old is new again. So anyways, that's it for this week, everybody. I will talk to you later in the week with my haul video. Take care. Happy hunting this Wednesday. Bye for now.